can you all give us just some general insights about discipline and disciplining your children?
Discipline is tough.
Yes, it is.
For any parent.
And unique for each kid situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So there are some parents that don't discipline their kids at all.
Yeah.
There are other parents that are disciplining their kids, but using techniques that aren't really effective. And then there are other parents or caregivers that are using techniques that are really harsh, maybe spanking their kids, maybe leaving bruises or marks with that, which is considered abuse. And so learning other different positive disciplinary techniques that are going to work better. So rewards versus bribes, and logical and natural consequences, appropriate ways to take away privileges for younger kids, variations of timeout. All of those are going to
It's not
be
a
meaningful.
one size fits all.
It's not a one size fits all.
Especially with different ages too,
Absolutely.
I would assume.
And most of discipline does start with that prevention that we already talked about. So with, learning how to give them that time warning so that they don't get upset, and lash out or things like that. So being able to kind of prepare them better.
Yeah.
Is where it all starts. Yeah.
Or setting up good expectations and giving good directions. If we're not telling the child exactly what we want them to do and being explicit about them, then go clean your room. And then they do their interpretation of that.
Right.
Yeah.
But it wasn't what I had in my head. And now they're in trouble for not fulfilling what I told them to do. That's not really fair.
Yeah. And I think it's good if parents can plan ahead on the discipline plan, like they just know the plan in advance so that whenever something does arise, they're not playing it by ear. I mean, they actually have something in mind, in place that's been discussed, and they can just move forward with that rather than reacting rashly because they're mad.
Yeah, it's much more fair. It's much more age appropriate. I was definitely what we would call a rubber band parent, where my kids would do something and I would take it, and then they would do something else and I would take it and take it and take it and take it until I would snap.
Yeah.
And then the consequences of that were extremely disproportionate to the last misbehavior.
Yeah.
Then they're like, what the heck, Mom?
Yeah. No, I've been there too.
So, and we all have, but learning to, again, be proactive in that and set meaningful consequences and being consistent with those is going to be much more meaningful.
Yeah. And what about the flip side of the coin, the provision of positive feedback when things are going right? What are some ways parents can do that?
I would say that starts with praise. And there are lots of different ways to praise. Sometimes it's, just sweet baby and I love you and just general, positive words. Other times it's just general praise. So, good job, or that was awesome. But if you want to actually change behavior, then labeled praise is the way to go.
Okay.
So I really like how you colored on the paper and not on the table. Or I really like how you used walking feet in the house. Those are ways that kids want to please. And when they know exactly what it is that you like and that you want, then they're going to do more of that.
So labeled praise is kind of when you catch that good behavior in action and immediately respond to it.
Exactly.
That's
and
a
like
good thought.
Sarah said, if you're using these positive strategies more, you'll have to end up using the disciplinary strategies less.
I feel like, praising is almost in a way a form of discipline.
Yeah.
If you think about, discipline is kind of trying to elicit a certain behavior that you're wanting or
Yeah.
things like that. That's exactly what you're doing with
Yeah.
praise. If you're able to catch it and give them that specific praise early on, then you're going to see less of those misbehaviors that you have to follow up with.
Yeah. I like that labeled praise. I've
Yeah.
never heard that, but I like
that's
that
a
a
good-
lot.
good thought.
Well, as kids mature and they grow, they start to create their own identities. And I'm just curious, how can parents support their child's ability to reason and engage?
Giving kids choices is one good way of doing that. And sometimes caregivers or parents think, why don't you give kids choices? They're kids. Like, I'm going to tell them what they need to do.
Right.
But it creates that independence. It teaches them that life skill of a choice and a consequence. And sometimes that consequence is positive and sometimes that's a natural consequence. And sometimes it's just as simple as, do you want to wear the red shirt or the blue shirt? And empowering them to do that. Sometimes the choice can be even more targeted. So do you want to do your homework first or take a bath first? Or do you want to wear the coat or bring the coat with you? In that instance, both the bath and the homework are getting done.
Yeah.
But you've empowered the child to be able to choose which one to do. Yeah. The coat's going either way.
Yeah.
And so it helps to, again, create that life skill. It certainly helps to not add that additional piece when the child does put the coat on. See, I told you need to bring your coat. That's not really helpful.
Yeah.
Don't want to do that. A lot of parents and caregivers are getting their resources or their parenting advice from social media. And sometimes that's okay. And sometimes it's just a TikTok influencer or someone that has a channel that, has made 30 takes before they get their child to respond appropriately.
Right.
And then they say, hey, look at how this works. And nobody sees the backside of that story.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that parents are using legit websites and resources for parenting.
Yeah, I think that, the good thing about it is that there's so many different examples. And like we've already talked about, each kid is different, right?
Yeah.
So if a parent feels like they've tried everything, maybe there's something else that they see that they haven't tried that'll work for them. But as the kid also, we talk a lot about that interactive play, those intentional words and things that we've already mentioned. I think that we have to be really conscious about like social media, phone time, screen time, and things like that as parents, because it's really easy for us, especially if we've, already worked a full day. We're coming home, we just want to sit and scroll and let our kid play in the other room. But we're modeling that same behavior, and so that's what they're going to start picking up on. And if we're letting ourselves be, affected by all those different videos and influencers and things like that, they are too.
Yeah.
They're always over our shoulder watching what we're watching. I don't, know if anyone ever notices, but you're really never looking at your phone without your kid looking at your phone also. So I think all those things are really important to think about, and realizing that it's not just your world that you have there, but you're now sharing it with a little you. So
Yeah. There's a level of intentionality that's required just for that attention that our children need. And it's so easy, as you say, to come home from work or whatever, and you just want to veg.
Yes.
And you're just like, I'm just going to watch TikTok. And
that's why parenting is hard.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's why it's easy to watch your kids play.
Yeah.
As opposed to taking that effort to interact with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the things that we're talking about here are explicitly connected to what you two do on a daily basis. Can you talk to us a little bit more about SafeCare in general?
Absolutely. SafeCare is a nationally recognized curriculum, first of all. And so the program that we operate uses that. We serve kids that are 0 to 5, or if a mom is pregnant. The benefit to our program is that we will actually come to the home.
Yeah, that's
so
amazing.
We will work with the parent in their environment, looking for those safety hazards, helping them to learn how to take a temperature, playing with their kids, modeling some of these skills with them, and then having them practice. We are in the Tulsa area and all of the surrounding counties. Our program is up to a year long. So some parents don't need that long. Some parents do. We will be flexible as to what the needs of the caregiver are and develop a plan that is based on their goals and what's important for them.
That's awesome. So SafeCare is one resource that parents can utilize, and a valuable resource. And you earlier alluded to online resources. What are some other resources that parents can use just to help them in this very challenging job that we have?
Yeah. So in our community, we certainly have some resources that we use. We partner with Emergency Infant Services. Crisis Pregnancy Outreach is another great one. The health departments in all of the counties are a great resource. Food banks, all of these things are in our communities here to help.
And if a parent is listening today and wants to get in touch with SafeCare, how can he or she do that?
Yeah, so like Lorinda said, really the only requirement for our program is that you have one kid within the age range of 0 to 5, so pregnant or through the age of 5. It's free services. We come to your home and do all of that. So if you're interested, you can go to just our regular Family and Children's website, and under programs, you can click on the SafeCare link. And on there is just a quick referral form. I'm pretty sure it's just like a name, an email, a phone number, very simple. And that will come directly to us at our program. And one of our staff members and supervisors will reach out to you guys, to the parent or caregiver, and schedule with them or whoever the referral is from. We get referrals not just from parents and caregivers, but also from school counselors, other social workers, things like that. Anyone you think could benefit from it. So we just call them and tell them that we received the referral and ask them when a good time would be for us to come out and just talk with them more about the program.
All right. So fcsok.org, and then go to services and choose SafeCare, and there's a referral form there.
Yes, and there's also a link in Spanish as well. So
Oh,
it'll
okay,
take you
great.
to a full page and a full referral form in Spanish.
All right.
Great.
All right. Well, Lorinda and Sarah, thanks for being with us today. This has been great information, extremely practical, extremely easily applicable. So we're really happy that you two could be with us today.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.